Hi, you guys. Okay, Insecure Season 5, Episode 7. Okay, the episode begins with all the ladies are meeting up and they're going to have a day at the spa and a dinner. And also for us as the viewers, this is giving us closure on, I guess, will be their last girls meet up without everyone else. Is just more intimate. All the ladies meets up at Issa's house, and Issa has everything there set up. She has the drinks and she has some joints rolled. And she tells Molly that this is her day to decompress with everything that she got going on dealing with her mother. And Molly is appreciative of that. And she says that her mother is doing way better. They decided to do some pre-gaming while they wait for their appointment down at the spa and smoke some joints. So while they were out doing that, Issa gets a call from the spa and they had some malfunctions down there, so they had to cancel their appointment. Well, since the spa appointment got canceled, they decided to stay in, have drinks, and Kelly said she's going to finish off the joints because she's still not drinking until it's time for them to go to dinner. Okay, now they have some music going, they have the drinks flowing, Kelly's puffing on her weed, and Issa wants to play Questions in a Hat, an old college game that they used to play. And Kelly like, you sure you want to play this? You know the power of this game. The last time that we played this game, shit spun out of control. Issa says to Kelly, stop being a scared ass bitch and start thinking of some good ass questions. So the first question was, what's an embarrassing fact that no one else amongst the group knows? And Molly said, okay, like I never seen Love Jones, girl. I just lied and told you that. Come clean, I ain't never seen it. And I'm going to tell y'all as well, I never seen Love Jones, and I'm not the one who loves slam poetry. I never did. I'm a fan of hip hop. The next question was, who broke Molly vase? And of course that came back up about the vase, and they had to bring that back up in closing. You know, Issa and Molly has this thing about the broken vase. Who broke Molly vase? It was so cute. And we get to the question, if you have to spend the rest of your life with the last person you slept with, how would you feel? How would you feel, Issa? Issa said, well, I don't know. Nathan and I are kind of up in the air. He called me inconsistent. Everyone else is like, what? Like, with real sarcasm. Issa's like, really? I'm inconsistent? And they tell her, like, yeah, girl, you are. Issa says she feels like she don't know where they stand right now. And ever since she told him she loved him and he didn't, it's been kind of weird. And she don't want to be in a relationship that she has to guess if the person love her. And again, here go Issa. Well, you know, fuck it. If I did it once, I'll do it again. I'll just start over. There she go. She don't even have a clear understanding of it. But right now, she just want to, fuck it. I'll just hit the reset button just like it's nothing. Kelly said, there go that shit. And everybody's like, what, girl? She like, the game. It got shit to want to uncover. And while we as a viewer understand what Kelly is saying, that the game is bringing forth these understanding that Issa didn't know or wasn't aware that she's inconsistent, right? So as Kelly says, you know, this game it want to bring out some shit. And she says, knock, knock. And then it was a knock at the door, which startled everyone. And it was no one but Trina from upstairs. And she's bitching about she see another spider. And Issa is telling her, like, girl, everyone has spiders. Remember Kelly and Trina, they became friends. They became cool. And so now they're not that way anymore. Kelly said that Trina said she was a bad influence on her son. And Kelly like, that little boy was a bad influence on me. We all get back to the game and Molly gets a phone call. So she steps out the room, tells them that this is a work call. So she steps out the room. Molly is just a key can and Kelly is like, a work phone call? Who the fuck is this bitch talking to? So they all creep outside and they're teasing her because she all blushing on the phone. She on the phone with Torian. Molly tells the ladies like, no, it's not like that. We just excited because we got approved for the rebranding proposal. So Kelly pulls a question out the hat and she give it to Molly, and it says, y'all fucking? And Molly like, no, it's not like that. She was like, but since the retreat and everything, it's been different. He's been calling up on me, checking on in on me about my mom. We've been up late night talking about this proposal, and he's always asking me, what am I up to? So it's definitely some energy there. The ladies are teasing Molly about a possible workplace romance. And Molly is like, that's cool and everything. You know, we both are like, it's like we're creeping up this line that we're both scared to cross. And she asked the lady, should I give him the green light? And Alexa picked that up as a cue to play Green Light by John Legend. Molly took that as a sign of go ahead and do it, girl. And I like that she's stepping out and just going off with her gut. You know, because Molly in the past had a tendency of overthinking things. And by this being a workplace romance, she definitely would have downed it like, oh no, girl, I work with him. I can't be fucking with him. And Torian just might be the one. Issa baked up a batch of Cool Ranch Doritos and crushed in chocolate chip cookies. And I never had that combination. That's something I may want to try. Anyway, the game is still going on, and Molly picks a question from the hat. If you can change one thing, what would it be? And Tiffany said, honestly, I wouldn't change anything. What me and Dirk been through, it all brought us to where we are now or where we're going to be. And Issa said, well, she wished she would have figured out what she wanted to do sooner. Well, I can relate to that. I am older than what Issa is right now on this show, and I have those feelings as well. This was very relatable. But like Issa said in a couple episodes back, who is to really tell us when it's soon enough or too late to do anything? So, you know, it's not over until it's over. Kelly says for her, she literally had to die to find a purpose. And I am so sick of Kelly being so morbid. And like I said in my first review of this season, I believe that something tragic is going to happen to Kelly. And I'm not going to like that at all. But as of right now, that's just my theory. Okay, next question. Which one of your friends' exes would you fuck? And Molly says someone from Issa college days. And Kelly like, bitch, fuck no. Daniel. Kelly is like, yes, that ass. Now, as for me, I'm damn sure fucking Daniel. Issa says, for real, y'all think Daniel is the best looking guy I've been with? And Kelly said, bitch, fuck yes, and stop throwing it in our face. I'm starting to feel like Lawrence. Wow, Kelly, you just had to bring Lawrence up. Issa like too fucking soon. That's fucked up. And she tells them, she come clean and said, well, actually, I ran into Lawrence Condola and the baby at the hospital, and it was like, wow, how was that for you? Issa said it felt odd. She knew that she would run into them eventually, but she was expecting to get closure that she never got. And I'm like, well, Issa, you did just close it how you did. We don't have no context of how their relationship was immediately after, he told Issa that Condolence was pregnant. And so we don't know exactly how long it was in between those times. But Issa, you have not gave the room for closure. Although I did expect for Lawrence to put up a fight just a little bit for Issa. He was just like, okay. Issa said, anyway, he seems happy. The baby is tall. He moved back in. That's just the way it is. And Kelly tells her, probably not. Because at Simone party, they weren't in the best space. It got real nasty. So be glad you dodged that bullet, girl. Issa said, yeah, I knew that shit was going to get messy. And she says, well, I do feel a little guilty how things ended. I was in love with Lawrence and it was hard to let him go. When his baby was born, I didn't even call to congratulate him. And Molly tells her, like, girl, you made the smart choice. And Tiffany made an interesting point. She said, but what is the smart choice? Molly said, well, she didn't want to be playing stepmother to any one baby. And Tiffany tells her, like, girl, I hear what you're saying and everything. That's cool and all. But your choices doesn't have to be the smart choice. It just has to make sense to you to be the right choice. I totally get what Tiffany is saying. Okay, yes, the smart choice would be, oh, I don't have to put up with this shit. I wanted kids from this man. I knew that I was going to be his, be the one to carry his children first. And then you have, okay, this man he's finally the man that I wanted him to be. I've been with him from day one. We've been through ups and downs. Things are going right now. And technically he didn't have a baby on Issa. He was on his off. They was on their off and he got Condolence pregnant. And does that make him a bad man to his woman? He has finally became the person Issa wanted him to be. And we see that this touched Issa and has her thinking, and Molly, she sees it in her friend's eyes and she changed the subject, telling everyone they need to get ready for dinner. While everyone is getting dressed, they all realize that they haven't all been together since Coachella. And Molly said, you know what? We can't let this much time go by without us getting together. And they all come in for a group hug. And Tiffany said, me and Derek is moving to Denver. So everyone is like, what? When? And Tiffany is just devastated, like, what the fuck? So Tiffany is like, yeah, Derek got a job offer down there. It'll be easier for us to move down there because of finances. His family is down there and everything. And Kelly has said, well, why am I just finding out about this? And she tells Kelly, well, me saying it brings out the reality that we're really moving. Tiffany also says she don't know what she's going to do without them. And she starts crying. And it's just like, girl, why are you so scared? And she says, well, what if I have another baby and I go through that postpartum again? And they tells her, like, girl, we will be on a first flight to Denver. Molly said going through everything that she went through with her mother, she learned that you have to be intentional with the people that you love. And it warms my heart that Molly realized that. Kelly said, yeah, it's going to take some planning, but we'll make it work. And Kelly is just so upset because her and Kelly is Molly and Issa. They're inseparable. And with all the emotions that's been going on, they all decide just to have a girls' night in. Okay, over to Lawrence. Look at Lawrence and Consuela. They over there co-parenting like they ought to be. Baby Eli is staying the night out with his daddy and all. When Lawrence drops baby Eli off, he goes out and get the rest of the baby things and brings them in the house. And he also picks up the packages that Condolence had outside. And she was like, yeah, those are just some shelves that I have to put up. So Lauren's like, you want me to put them up? And she like, no, my friend, he's going to come over and I have someone that's going to come over and put them up. He's like, well, I'm here right now. I can do them. And she was like, yeah, thank you. Come on in, do that. And these are the type of friendships from here on out that they're going to have. I don't see nothing wrong with Lawrence doing this. This does not have to be a thing of, him trying to get with her. He's just being a man, doing a little handy thing out to help his son mother out around the house. After Lawrence put up the shelves, he come at Condolence like, if any of your friends want some shelves put up, don't tell them I'm busy. And the baby laughed, so Condolence was like, well, somebody likes a little dad joke. Condoleezza was telling Lawrence that, she had plans to make all their food. And when the baby got there, all the plans changed. And we know how that is. You can plan on doing things, but a baby will show you who's the boss. I mean, you can't really let that control you, but sometimes it's just you have to attend to that baby schedule, what they need to at the moment. And Lawrence agreed with her, and I think by him being more hands-on, he can have empathy for what Condolence go through on a regular basis. Lisa is playing airplane with baby Eli, trying to make him eat, and Lawrence said, no, you have to do the choo-choo train. So Consuela was like, well, here, you try. So Lawrence did the choo-choo train. It was so cute. And baby Eli opened right on up and took his bite. And Consuela was like, oh my goodness, you're such a good dad. And I thought that was important. You have to give a man credit for when he is doing good, because moms, we're always being celebrated. And a lot of times fathers are getting shoved to the back burner, especially, fathers as single parents. And as we see that Lawrence was getting a lot of gripe from Condolence and her family. Later on, Lawrence told Condolence that, it's been a trying year for them, and that if things would have went the other way and Condolence would have made the choice to abort baby Eli, he don't know where he would have been, because baby Eli is the best thing that ever happened to him. And Consuela is like, she is getting emotional. And Lawrence is like, what, did I say anything? She said no. She was like, when things wasn't good between us, she was like, she basically was saying I almost made the decision to abort the baby. And I understand where her emotions is coming from and everything. But then I'm like, girl, what did we miss? Because you the one who told him that you was going to have your baby. He can go on here about his business. So what is he to blame for so much on her? Condoleezza tells Lawrence, look, I see everything that you have sacrificed, basically, and the changes you made, and I do want you to be happy. He tells her, I don't blame you for anything, and I want you to be happy as well. And this is healthy for both of them. This is not about them being together as a couple. This is about them having a healthy co-parenting relationship. Back over at Issa's, the ladies are all dressed in their PJs. They're going to make it a all-nighter, have a little slumber party. And they are teasing Molly. And Issa said, give me your phone. I'm going to text Torian. Hey, would you like to hook up outside of work sometime? Because I look different outside of my work clothes. She was doing Alicia Keys. That was cute. So Molly texted a little something and she showed them. She said, how does this look? What about this? And Dro called her motherfucking phone. And he's like, girl, what is Dro doing calling you? Molly like, girl, I don't know. And Kelly said, girl, it's a game. The exes are upon us. Only thing that we can do is just let it happen. Kelly said, look at this. Daniel Kaluuya, I think that was the name. And is she talking about Issa X? She talking about he slid in her DM. So why she going to entertain that? Issa picks up her phone and Molly is like, girl, who you calling? And she said, Lawrence. Molly said, hell no, girl. She take the phone from Issa and hangs it up. Girl, what the fuck are you doing? And Issa like, girl, you heard what Kelly said. It's the game. We got to get ahead of it. Molly said, girl, I love you, so I'm going to tell you this. You know how we was talking about you being inconsistent? Yeah, well, that's what you're doing right now. How would any of this help you right now? Look. If you want to call him tomorrow when you sober up, fine, go at it. But right now, don't do that shit. Next morning when everyone leave, Nathan hits up Issa to tell her to call when she get a chance to talk. So Issa calls and Nathan really, I'm going to give him points for stepping up on this one. He said he do understand that things been off with them lately. And he tells Issa, I do love you. He said it's just not something that I normally come out and ever really said before. And I think this was a step up for Nathan for how he deal with things, because we know he's like the road runner. He's always taking off and hiding his feelings, and that's how he deal with his feelings and emotions, by running. I apologize for being putting the pressure on, and he said no, that was on some childish shit. Say he can be avoidant, but he needs to change that. He needs to face it and change it. And I'm going to give him kudos for that. So Issa asks him, so you're not leaving? And Nathan said, no, I'm going to find a way to make shit work. That's growth, y'all. Issa, what would you have done if you would have let your emotions go inside of Lawrence just the night before? Issa would have been flip-floppy right on back with Lawrence. This very conversation probably would have went totally different. So probably would have been done with his ass. They tell one another that they love each other, and it seems like Crash and Burn won't be Crash and Burn. They will actually be a couple. And I was very against this at first, but being as though that we're seeing the character development more so in Nathan, I'm starting to believe in him a little bit more. And I'm like, well, maybe it could be. Maybe it's not what we would say would be the person for Issa, but hey, maybe he can turn into that person. I mean, look what she did, how she pushed Lawrence into becoming his great self. Don't overlook the power of a woman. He get off the phone with Nathan feeling good and everything, and ring, ring. Motherfucking Lawrence is burning her phone up. No, not burning her phone up. He's just returning her call from, the night before when she called him and hung up. And that's where the shit ends for this episode. We could have got all of this sooner, especially if her and Nathan is going to be a couple by the end of this series. Y'all slow fucked us with this. But nevertheless, that's the end of this episode, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye.